question. I know people always say you never include the people at home. Well, now I have. Thank you, too. Now, yesterday, the incoming administration announced more cabinet picks. Former Democrat Tulsi Gabbard was tapped to be director of.
Okay, so hi everybody. Welcome to today's class on digital payments. We are going to discuss three forms of digital payments because this month is Cybersecurity Month. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to unmute yourself or you could type it in the chat and I'll get to you during the presentation for today. So the three topics we are going to go over are PayPal, Zelle, and CashApp. We will focus on the features of each of the apps, why people use them, and then at the ending we'll go over just some methods to do before you start to use the app. So to make sure you don't get dealt with any scams and so on. So if nobody here today uses any of them, we're just going to have a brief overview of what digital payment methods are. So digital payment apps are apps that you can download on your smartphone, mostly a tablet, and you can use your computer as well. And they let you send and receive money electronically. So for example, you can use this on your smartphone to send your friends or family members money very easily. You could send them, let's say you went out to a restaurant and you split the bill. You could send them the money right away using these payment methods. People also use it for paying bills, right? You can use that as well, and shopping online, and we'll get to that shortly. But that's mostly what these three apps are used for. Zelle can also be used through bank accounts. So if you have the Chase app, you may have seen the feature already built into that app. So you wouldn't even need to download another app on your phone. You can use the Chase app itself. However, you do need to download PayPal and Cash App on your phone. So let's just talk about each of these apps one by one, and I'll stop briefly if you guys have questions after each slide. So PayPal is probably maybe the most well known to the people here today, only because it's been around for so long. So maybe in the past, you may have opened up an account with PayPal and probably just never used it or stopped using it or so on. But it was founded in 1998 and it was a way to send and receive money. But now, since with smartphones and tablets, iPads, and so on, you can put this app directly on your device and send money that way. With PayPal, right, there are two ways you can use PayPal. You can directly link it to your bank account. So that means you can, with PayPal, put in your account number and routing number to transfer and get money. Or you can link a credit or debit card, right? So PayPal is not just a place to send and receive money. PayPal can also be used to buy things online, right? So for example, there are some websites online, like a shopping store. Let's give like Nordstrom as an example, or Saks Off Fifth. Those type of websites online will say at the ending, do you want to use PayPal to check out? So with PayPal, you can actually connect your credit or debit card to pay for your shopping carts. However, PayPal is not a method on every single website, so you may not see it on some of your favorite online shops, but it is listed on many online websites. With PayPal, right? If you do decide to download the app, there are some rewards and benefits with using PayPal as a payment method. You can get up to 5% cash back when you use it on a specific store. So PayPal will show you in their app the rewards that are happening. They'll say, if you use PayPal with Uber, you will get this amount back. If you use PayPal with Macy's, you'll get this amount back. So, but they changes all the time and the promotion always ends. So it's up to you to go into the PayPal app and see what they're promoting at that time being. Does somebody have a question? Okay. PayPal is free to, send personal transfers. However, there might be some fees depending on how much you are going to send to a friend or family member, or if you're doing business transactions and so on, there may be some fees with that. And with PayPal, you can do multiple security methods. So you can use your Face ID, your fingerprint as an additional to a password that you can put as well. Many people also use their phone number as their backup. So you can get a code or text message sent to your phone. So when you log into PayPal, you don't only just put your password, you also have to get a code sent to your phone to put in, because with that additional code, it's an extra layer of security, because instead of someone may know your password, they won't be able to get that code sent to your phone number. With PayPal as well, we're going to talk about buyer protection, but in cases where you may have been scammed, PayPal is really good with getting that money back with their buyer protection program. Anybody have questions so far? Okay. So I just want to talk briefly. I know there's a lot of text on this page, but I'll explain it very simple. But I just wanted to explain, why do people use PayPal when they shop online instead of entering their credit card number, right? So the main reason why people will use PayPal instead of entering the credit card number is because of that extra layer of security. So we're going to just use Macy's as an example, right? So when you shop online, right? This is shopping online. This is not, I'm not talking about in the physical stores. But when you shop online, for example, Macy's, they're going to give you different methods of how you can pay online. The first option will be entering your credit card or debit card, right? Which means you have to put in your credit card information, you have to put in the month and the security code. All of that information is getting sent to Macy's, right? However, if you're using PayPal, PayPal is going to act as the middleman. So Macy's will not be able to see your credit card information. PayPal is going to handle the transaction, and you're going to get it sent. They're going to take it directly out of wherever your credit card is tied to or your debit card is tied to. And this is going to reduce any credit card theft. Let's say for some reason that day you decide to buy something with Macy's, Macy's has a data breach, or Macy's gets hacked that day for some odd reason, right? If you were using PayPal, you would be safe in that scenario because you were paying through PayPal directly, not Macy's directly. Your credit card information is already saved through PayPal. It's not going directly to the Macy's website. So that's one main reason why people would use PayPal instead of putting their credit card information. Anybody have questions on that? Okay. Another reason
I have
why,
a question. I have
yes,
a question.
yeah,
Is
go ahead.
when you said they give you protection, does that come naturally or do you have to sign up for the protection? You know,
If you are deciding to, let's say, send money to someone through PayPal, there's a specific thing a feature you do have to turn on to make sure that you get buyer protection.
huh.
And I could go in the app later today and tell you what it's called.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So yeah, that's the next thing I was going to discuss, which is buyer protection. So PayPal will offer buyer protection for purchases that they feel may go wrong. Or for example, if you are sending money, let's say for some reason you're online and you wanted to buy sports tickets, and they said, yes, I have the sports tickets, just send me $300. So you send that person $300, and all of a sudden you never get the tickets, right? So they have a buyer protection program where in that case you will receive your $300 back. It's a specific feature in PayPal. And I could get you that information after the presentation today. But it is something that you can turn on and use. And then lastly, right, convenience is always the best about PayPal. So, right, with PayPal, users do not have to worry about, constantly putting in their credit card, their address information over and over again when you're paying online. PayPal saves all that information into their wallet in the app. So, and let's say we're going to use Macy's as an example again. If you're using PayPal to purchase something on Macy's, you just click on the PayPal option and you just have to put your password to PayPal and it does the rest. You do not have to put in your credit card number, your address, or so on, because all of that is already saved with PayPal. So it's also a faster way to pay online. And then let's say you do want to start using PayPal or just check it out and see what they have. There are two ways you can use PayPal. You can always download the app on your phone, on both phones, whether you have an iPhone or Android, it does not matter. Or you can also use PayPal on your computer. So if you just go to paypal.com, you can also send money that way, put your credit card and debit card that way. If you're someone who doesn't like to have the apps on your phone. In order to use PayPal, right, you could either sign up with an email or with your phone number, but you do need to link either a bank account or a card, credit card or debit card to start using the app. But once again, PayPal can be used also not for just sending money, but as a payment method when shopping online. But in the app or the website, there is a section where you can send and request money. And all you have to do is enter the person's phone number or the person's email. But once again, if that person that you're talking to and trying to get money from them or send money to them does not have PayPal, right? They're not going to be able to send you money back and they're not going to be able to receive that money you send them. The PayPal will just say that the transaction is not possible. So in order to actually use PayPal to send money to someone, they also need to have PayPal and have an account, a bank account linked to their cards or credit card, or so on. They need to have the app, essentially. They need to have an account. Any questions on that from anybody? Yes, Elizabeth?
Thank you. And I'm sorry for being a little late. They were doing a lot of cutting down of trees and it was too loud for, so, sorry if I missed this. I just had, it was, like a course on someone, okay, it's a course, I don't even know how to
It's okay.
describe it. I'm so low tech. Something to sign up for that was going to be on the internet. It was like a 1-day webinar or something. And the person wants us to pay, like you said, these different ways. And one is PayPal. But then she said
Mhm.
for PayPal, she doesn't have a button. She says, put family and friends, pay under family and friends. Have you heard of anything like that?
So that is the buyer protection feature that I was talking about. So when you decide to send or receive money from someone, you want to use that friends and family feature. So in case that person is scamming you, you're guaranteed to get the money back. So in cases like a concert ticket, if it's a fake concert ticket and it doesn't work, because you did it through friends and family, you will get the money back.
So it's still, she's doing it like a business, but she's also not maybe having a business account or something. I thought maybe. I think normally if you buy something on a business, it just says pay with PayPal and you click it, right?
Right,
She doesn't have
exactly.
any button, so she just wants
Right.
you to do it through your account. But that's okay to do? I didn't know if that was a little shady or not.
I mean, you could always, like, if you have the information, you could always send it to me and I could like research it for you.
Okay.
I could see directly like what's going on.
And as friends and family, do you have to pay extra if you paid for that?
No, it's just an extra
Mm.
thing that you tick off
Okay.
in the account in cases where you're doing big transactions like that. If it's a large sum of money or it's something where you are going to get like a service or a good out of it, and you might get, it could be a potential scam.
And then when you do friends and family, how do you actually, do you know, is there a special, how do you pay with friends and family? Is there something on the
I'm
screen?
gonna look at PayPal at the end because I have the
Okay.
app, because I see someone else is asking like, how do you do that feature?
Thank you.
Oh, I need to go back into the app because I remember I did it one time when I bought concert tickets. So I will get back to you guys on that question.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Okay, any other questions on, I know we have that question about the friends and family option, but is there any other questions from PayPal from anybody else? Okay. All right, so the next thing I want to just discuss is Zelle. So not sure if many people use Zelle here today, but Zelle is a service that you can use to send also money to your friends and family. So unlike PayPal, where it's an option that you can use to check out on online shopping websites, Zelle is only used to just send money, right, to your friend or family members. It's not really going to be a payment method on a online shopping account like Macy's, Nordstrom's, Amazon, right? You won't see that as an option, but you can download the app to send money to your friends or family. So this is fairly new. It's actually one of the more recent apps out of the all three I'm going to talk about today. It was founded in 2017 and it's a bank-based service. So it's very trusted because most of the US banks and credit unions work with Zelle and use it and put it as a feature in their app itself. So it's the most security out of all three apps here today. And it is free to use. There's no extra charges to send money using Zelle. their slogan or the main reason why people use it is the real-time transfer. So once you send money through Zelle, you can instantly get it in less than a minute transferred to your bank account. Their security method is the same as what your bank would use. So, for example, Chase, right? I'm keep using Chase because I have Chase and I use Zelle through Chase. Chase has a section in their app where you can just send money directly with Zelle. Some banks or some people just prefer to download the app itself because some people may not just find it easy through the app, so they just get the Zelle app. They may not find it easy using Chase and then trying to find the feature, so they just download the app itself. But either way, it's fine. Either way is the correct way. It doesn't matter which way you use. You're not going to get charged if you use it through Chase. You won't get charged if you download the app itself. They're both the correct way to use it. So I just want to just discuss one thing, right? So Zelle, right? The same way with PayPal and with Cash App, which I will talk about in the next section, then the other person needs to have Zelle. So if they're not registered with Zelle, if their bank does not offer Zelle, right? If you send money to that person, they're not going to get it. The transaction is not going to happen, and Chase is going to say this person is not registered through Zelle, and that's it, right? The money won't go through. So just make sure that any app that you use here today or you decide to use today, the other person that you're sending it to needs to have that app be registered and have it downloaded on their device. So I know this might be a big question, so I made a slide about it, right? Can you get your money back with Zelle? So it's very important that if you do use Zelle or even Cash App, which is the next slide, that you need to treat it like cash and it can't be canceled once sent. So right, it's instant. So if once you send the $10 to someone using Zelle, they're going to get it right away in a minute. And you can't go back on that, right? It moves very quickly, it's sent. If it's taking long, you may be able to call your bank. So that's the most important way to try to get your money back. But there's no button in the app or the Chase app or whatever your bank may be. There's no button that says to cancel or to stop transaction, right? It makes it very clear that once you send it, that's it. It's a final transaction. The only way you can get your money back is if the recipient isn't enrolled. So once again, if the person does not have Zelle, you can cancel the payment and get your money back. Another way to do it, which is probably not a good way to do it, but if you accidentally send it to some random phone number, you can try to text them and tell them to give you your money back, but that probably is not going to work. And then lastly, you can file dispute with your bank, and they may have some protections in place that can allow you to get the money back. I don't have that information because everybody here today is going to have a different bank. So you're going to have to contact your bank to see what protections they have in place in case you sent your money to the wrong phone number or so on. So it's very important if you do decide to do this, you know your friend's phone number, it's their correct number, and they have Zelle. Because once you do it, you can't go back. I mean, if it's your friend or family member and you send them a different amount, hopefully they will send you the money back. but in cases where it was a stranger that you send it to, you would have to go to your bank and file a dispute. Anybody have questions?
I have one question to go back. Do you pay for PayPal, or they take money out when you pay, right?
So PayPal is free to use. They're not going to take out any money, right? PayPal will only take out money from your card if you're using it to pay for items when you're shopping online.
But that's the only way to pay for things is use your card, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's how you pay them.
Yeah, it's not like a subscription or anything, Alicia, where they take out money. No.
Right. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Anybody have questions on Zelle? Okay. So out of all three, I do use PayPal and Zelle all the time. Zelle works amazing for me. You get the money, like I said, in literally less than a minute. Some banks do take longer than normal, but it's never more than a day. It might go maybe an hour or so is like the longest that you will get your money through Zelle. So, right, how do we use Zelle? You can access it in your bank app if your bank app has put it as a feature. If not, you do have to download the Zelle app on your smartphone. So once again, right, you wouldn't go to the website online to use Zelle. There's only two ways, the app or in your personal bank app. So your Chase app, your American Express app, your I'm losing bank accounts, but you know what I mean. You have to go into the bank app in your phone. So I put a screenshot so you can see how it looks on the Chase app. And I'm gonna put a circle around it. In the Chase app, there's actually a section that says send money with Zelle. It's a very small, but that's what it says. You tap on that feature and you can tap on your contacts in your phone, or you can type the phone number or email of the person. There's also another button underneath the Chase app that's called Request Split with Zelle. So let's say you and your friend went out to eat or took a taxi together or something, you can request to split the bill with them and it will divide it evenly between you and your friend or multiple people and so on. So those are some features to look out for and to use in the app.
So wait, excuse me. You can use Zelle to pay for a taxi.
No, so once you finish paying for the taxi, right? Like with your credit card, you can request for your friend to send you half of the bill that you paid.
Okay.
And then they could then they'll send you money back into your bank account.
Okay, through the Zelle app.
Yes. Or no, well, this is the Chase app I'm talking about. In the Chase app, there's sections that you
Okay.
can request to split bills with your friend using Zelle.
Okay.
And then the last one that I want to discuss is CashApp. So CashApp is an app that I don't use, but I have some information for you guys. If you do want to use it, it is another method of sending and receiving money. And it has a different features than the other two that I listed here today. So CashApp was founded in 2013, and it is an app that you can send and receive money. Just like the two apps that I talked about previously, the other recipient must have CashApp as well. So it will not work and you will not be able to send or receive money if the other person doesn't have it as well. With Cash App, there are multiple ways to use it. You can link your debit or credit card with Cash App, or you can actually get a debit card with Cash App called Cash Card. So there are two ways to use Cash App. And unlike the other two, Cash App actually has an investment feature that you can use for stocks or Bitcoin, which we're probably not gonna delve into that because that will be a whole other presentation on
Yeah.
Bitcoin. But I'm just, sharing that with you guys that it's a feature that exists in Cash App. With Cash App, right? They're not tied with any company or any bank accounts. They're their own company. So it's free for standard transfers. So what that means is like when you do decide to send money to someone through Cash App, they'll give you a window. So they'll say you will get your money in 1 to 3 days or so on. However, there will be a fee that they will take out or add to when you're sending money if you want that transfer immediately into your bank account. So let's say you want the cash, the $100 that your friend is sending you immediately in the next, hour or so, it's going to be a fee for that transaction. So that's how that works. With Cash App, right, there's a PIN protection and encryption. So what does that mean? So not only do you need to put in your password when you use Cash App, there's also a PIN that you have to provide. So a 4 to 6 digit PIN that you can put in the app before you send money to someone. So it's an addition. So let's say, for example, someone, once again, hacked into your Cash App and knew your password. They most likely will not know that PIN, which is another extra form of protection. And encryption just means that it has like, for example, let's say you were using it online or so on. Hackers would not be able to see into any like the messages you may send through Cash App. So sometimes when you are using Cash App or Zelle, I didn't mention that previously, but when you do send a transaction through these payment methods, you have to say what is the transaction. So you can say for a restaurant, for the bill, for my bills, for my rent, or so on. You have to list or say a message of what this transaction is about. And encryption is like hiding those type of messages between these type of apps. Ooh, oh wait, we have a chat. Okay, so someone just said in the chat, I'm gonna just say for everyone, does Cash App offer gift cards similar to ShopRite or Walmart? So Cash App doesn't offer gift cards. It offers a cash card, which is essentially a debit card that you can have, like a physical debit card that you can use and pay in real life and, use it in different stores and so on. So because Cash App can also be used as investments, the money that you make in your investments in stocks or Bitcoin can be converted into cash or a balance that you can use and pay for things in stores. So I would say out of all these three apps, Cash App may be the more complicated one because of the investments and their Bitcoin section. So if you are new to digital payments, I wouldn't really recommend Cash App as your first digital payment card. I would say to use either Zelle or PayPal. Is there any protection if the cash card was lost? So I don't know if their encryption, because I have seen articles before where Cash App has had data breaches before. I'm not sure about, like, let's say the cash gets lost or so on. But I'm gonna get back to you. I'll get back to you on that as well. So Cash App is really just used like if you want for different options. So that's why I, put it in the slide here today. If you're someone that's into investments and so on, they have that different variety. The cash card is not necessary to use, right? You can link your other debit card and credit cards with Cash App. But that is a good question. I'll search it up while we do the next slide. Does anybody else have any questions? Yes,
This is
go
Ellie.
ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're gonna talk about next, but I had a situation come up with a parking meter for Apple Pay. So I wondered if you wanted to discuss it now, or should I call you? I just didn't understand it, because they didn't give you any options except to use Apple Pay, and that was at a meter. A parking.
Right.
So I don't know if you can help me with that, and we can talk separately, or if you want to talk with anybody else having any issues.
So you used Apple Pay to pay.
Well, my granddaughter happened to be with me. If she wasn't, I wouldn't have been able to pay for the meter. She
But
had,
what-
she has
but what
Apple
did-
Pay.
Yeah, and what happened after though, when you used it?
Well, she did it. She had to use her own phone. I couldn't use my own phone because I wasn't registered with Apple Pay. I don't even know how to use it.
Yeah, well, Apple Pay, so Apple Pay is just like Google Pay if you have an Android phone. And they're just, I didn't include them here today because they're a bit different than these, but just like how with PayPal, you can add your debit card or credit card to pay for things online and link it to PayPal, Apple Pay works the same way. They work as a middleman. So instead of paying directly to the parking meter, entering your credit card information, you're using Apple Pay, and Apple Pay does that transaction for you, but the parking meter is not seeing your information. Apple Pay is working as that middleman to make the transaction happen for you. You could make an appointment with me if you want to talk more. I've done a class on Apple Pay before.
Well, I was just curious why a town would only give you that one option of just one way to pay. That was crazy.
I mean, yeah, I know. There's a lot of like there's a lot of companies that they only choose one thing, but I don't know why,
Oh. Well, it's not right, but I'll go into that another time. Like if you're short and you can't use that, what do they call that thing that with all the crazy lines in it? The, the icon. What is it called? The
What,
cat, that you have to put your phone up to it to
the
get
QR code. I did a
the
class on
QR
that
code.
last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had that. I'm so short now. They had that 3 feet up above, 3 feet higher than me.
Oh,
Oh, God, I tell you.
But, and also if you're in a wheelchair,
right,
No,
right.
I'm not in a wheelchair
I
either.
know, but other people are, and then they're
Yeah.
also short. Yeah.
It's like.
So where do you
great-
complain?
Where you have to call I guess I don't live in that town. so-
Society's changing.
Yeah, you would have to contact whoever's like the government officials in that town.
Yeah, the parking meter
Yeah,
department to
right.
see what's easier. I'm sure they have another way. That's my concern, but I guess you have to be able to look up really high to read the sign they had, with the sun shining.
Right.
Oh, God. So
So-
that was the question.
Okay,
So
Okay.
Elizabeth, to answer your question, because I found those details online. So if you do lose that cash card that you get through Cash App, you can freeze it temporarily with that bank account or deactivate it. if you're no longer going to get it. You can report a loss to the bank or your credit union as possible. And it says, if you report the loss within 2 business days, your liability for unauthorized charges is usually limited to $50. So I don't know if that helps that question, but that's the information.
It does. I just was curious, like if
Right.
that was one drawback about
Right.
it. Thank you.
So how to use Cash App, right? This is going to most likely be an app on your phone. So PayPal, right? You could go on the online and put paypal.com. You can use a computer with PayPal. With Zelle, right? You can use your bank apps, or you could download the app. Cash App is the most limited one out of the 3 choices. You have to download the app on your phone. Whether that's an iPhone, you go to the App Store or the Google Play Store with your Android device. And you can sign up using your phone number or email. So those are the 3 that we are going to discuss today, but there is another one like Venmo that kind of works like Cash
Venmo.
App, right? I didn't discuss that one today because the class would have been too long. And then we have Apple Pay and Google Pay, which I have done a class on separately that I can link the video to. But there are essentially as well digital payments, and I could always do that class again to refresh people. So just some safety tips before we leave today, right? When you are using digital payment safety methods, I'm going to make sure to find that family and friends thing also before we leave today. But, right, always send money to people you know and trust. So if it is through Zelle or PayPal or Cash App, probably you should only use it first with your family or friends, right? Don't try to venture out and use it to strangers right away. I would say if you have a family member, a friend that has it, make sure you do it to those people first. Also, right, use strong passwords and enable security settings. So if the app tells you, do you want an extra, security method like adding your face or adding your fingerprint or sending a code to your phone, you should make sure to turn, those features on. Because if a person does figure out what your password is, they're not going to have your fingerprint. They're not going to have the face ID. And they're definitely not going to have that code that gets sent to your phone number. Always double check before you do send information. So many cases where people file complaints or cases with these apps is because they send it to a phone number because they didn't double check that phone number, right? If you mess up just one number, it's going to get sent to another stranger. And like I said, it's very hard to get the money back with Zelle. You can always file a complaint and say that, you messed up, but it will have to be the bank's decision to see whether or not they will give you that money back. And just be cautious of scams. So we're going to look at a scam in the next 2 slides, but just be cautious about scams. Like if they ask you about what your password is, what's the code, right? You should not send that information over unless you know the person. So just something, right, with using Zelle or PayPal or so on. If someone does gain unauthorized access to your bank account without your permission, of course, if you do report that right away with your financial institution, your bank or so on, you will most likely will get your money back if you have been breached in your account or so on, because you did not authorize that transaction. However, when you are using Zelle or PayPal or Cash App, that is you that is sending that money to the person, even if you accidentally, type their phone number wrong. So that's why it's important that you double check then the phone number's right before you send it over to your friend or family member. And then now I'm just showing you just a screenshot of,
Excuse me, I have one question.
yeah,
Can,
go ahead.
can you use Zelle to pay for Macy's?
No, you can't.
If you check out, so let's say you put all the clothes in your cart and you check out, if PayPal is an option, then yes, you just have to see. I use it as an example. I'm not sure, but I think it is.
But Zelle you could use, I mean, that's because Zelle, they don't.
No. PayPal is the only one you can use.
Okay. All right.
Zelle is just this, Zelle and Cash App. Zelle is just to use to send money between friends and family. And
Okay.
Cash App, they can give you a debit card to pay in stores.
Okay.
But PayPal, yes, PayPal can be a form to check out when you are online. It's just not every website has PayPal as a payment method.
Right. And then they charge you when you do it.
No, they do not. Yeah, they'll
So they
charge your
charge,
card, they'll charge your
yeah,
card or bank account that's tied to it, but
right,
they're not going to charge you extra money for using PayPal.
right. Just that you're using your card, they charge you. Like,
Right.
okay. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from that before I go over the slide? Okay. So just this screenshot, which is just another tip for anybody here today. So, this was someone got this message from apparently from Zelle that says that they received $1,000 from Zelle. And if I just circle it right away, that's what people look at. They look at the logo and they look at the name Zelle. So you may think, okay, yes, they did send it to me. But the most important part when you are dealing with a scam or you think something's not right is to please read the full email address. So in yellow is the full email address. And you could see it says from zellp742@gmail.com. So right away, that tells us that this is fake and it's a scam. Zelle is not going to have, random numbers and letters after their name to send you money or so on. And they're not going to have a Gmail, AOL, a Yahoo. Companies are not going to have our personal email accounts that we use. They have their own company. So for example, it would be at Zelle.com. Same thing with RSS. When if you want to email me, my email's at RSSNY. We have business emails that are associated with our companies. It wouldn't be at Gmail at Yahoo. So even though someone's name is Zelle and they have the picture, doesn't really mean that email came from them. I could send you an email and change my name, my display name, and I can change my picture to a logo and write the same email, but it will still come from my personal email. So anytime, this could be for anything, not just for Zelle, but for any scam that you may get through an email, if it's even for Facebook or Instagram, to always check their email address. Any questions on that from anybody here today? Okay. So I'm going to bring this up. I'm gonna screen share something before we leave today about the friends and family and goods and services, because I did find something. I think I said it backwards to you guys. So before anybody leaves today, we could look at it together. So we leave here today without getting confused on that. Can an recording be mailed to us? Oh. Yes, if you put Paula, if you put your email down, I could send you the recording of the Apple and PayPal recording. Or if anybody else wants it, you could type your email. Okay, so I said it backwards. So there's two ways when you send money to someone using the PayPal app. When you are about to send money to someone, you have two options. Sending money with friends and family, or purchase for goods and services. Those are the two options you're gonna get before you send money to someone. When you choose sending to a friend, once again, let me just read it. If you choose sending money to a friend, it's considered a personal payment. Personal payments are not covered by their buyer purchase protection. However, if you use goods and services, that is protected under their purchase and buyer protection. So it says right here, we cover eligible goods and service payments under the PayPal purchase protection if you use goods and services. So that one person, I think we were talking about that you had a webinar and they said to use the friends and family,
Oh, yeah.
then I had it confused. It might be the other way around. You should have used goods and services to send them the money.
I didn't do it yet
Oh,
because
you didn't do it
it's sort
yet.
of shady.
Right. So I also think now it's a bit shady that they're like trying to convince you to use the personal payment method, which isn't going to be covered. So for anyone here that's going to use PayPal to send money to someone, if you are sending to someone to buy a good or service, so it lists what it may be, an item you want in an auction, buying merchandise, downloading a digital item. So let's say a concert ticket, all of that will be covered under their purchase protection. So if it was a scam, you can get your money back. So now I remember when I used PayPal, before I sent the money, they'll give you two sections of what it's going to be under. I put goods and services to receive concert tickets, because in case the concert ticket was a scam, I would get my money back. But if it's like sending money to a friend or family member to split a lunch bill or a gift you want to give to somebody, that would be considered personal payment.
Can I ask a question about that, please?
Yes, go ahead.
But what would the advantage be? That's why I was wondering if there was some fee attached to the one or the other, like goods and services or personal. Like, why would they offer that? What's the actual difference?
I'm trying to read it.
Little.
You can make a personal payment. Okay, it says for purchases for goods and services, when you make this type of payment, the seller pays a small fee to receive your money.
That's why she wants you to pay through friends and
Yeah.
family. She doesn't have to pay the fee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I knew there has to be.
But
Okay.
the fee, is also making sure she's not scamming you. So
Right. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for answering that, because I was like, boy, it's something.
Yeah, no problem. Does anybody have any other questions for today?
So it seems that you should always pay through goods, because it's always protected, even if you're giving money to a friend.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless it's like your friend that you know all those years and you're just splitting the lunch bill, you don't want them to pay an extra fee for that. But
Right.
because remember, when you use goods and services, they're paying an extra fee.
Yeah.
It's just like they need to send you $10 or something. Maybe you don't need to put goods and services, right?
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Right. Someone says, when will QR codes be explained and discussed? That class was already done
Last week.
week. I could I have it on YouTube right now. I could, hold on. I could put in the chat right now.
I see. You're paying the fee because they are giving you a service of the protection.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So I
Friends
just
and
linked,
families, no protection, so there's no fee. Okay. This makes
right. Yes,
Thank
yes.
sense.
I just linked the QR code class for everybody if you weren't here last week. And I will send, I think, or is this the digital wallets? Hold on, let me also share this. I'm pretty sure this is the digital wallets, a class that includes Apple Pay, but if it doesn't, I'll send an email to everybody again today. I'm gonna just take a picture of everybody's email.
Good.
Okay, any last questions from anybody? Okay, so thank you guys for coming.
Thank
Next
you.
week,
This is so helpful, the way you break all these things down.
you're
Thank you so
welcome.
much. Yeah, it's
Is digital wallet a QR code? Digital
No.
wallet is not a QR code. So digital wallets are payment methods that you put on your smartphone to pay in the store physically or pay online. So like when you tap and pay, like on the bus or in the store, they have like a little machine and you just tap on it with your phone. But if you watch the video, go into detail about it that I linked. Dawn. Oh wait, hold on. Yes, I will send you, Dawn, the video of the, yes.
Me too.
If you look at the chat, everybody, I'm sending, I send the thing for the digital wallet.
thank you, God.
And then, hold on. Okay. All right, any last questions then? If not, we're gonna end for today. Next week is online scams. So I'll see you then.
Okay.
Bye, Tabitha.
Thank you,
Thanks.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.